Tulip, written by Erlbruch. For a while now, Duck had had a feeling. Who are you? What are you up to, creeping along behind me? Good, said Death. You finally noticed me. I am Death. Duck was scared stiff, and who could blame her? You've come to fetch me? Oh, I've been close by all your life, just in case. In case of what? Asked Duck. In case something happens to you. A nasty cold, an accident, you never know. Are you going to make something happen? Life takes care of that. The coughs and colds and all the other things that happen to you ducks. Fox, for example. Duck tried not to think about that. It gave her the goosebumps. Duck gave her a friendly smile. Actually, he was nice, if you forgot for a moment who he was. Really quite nice. Shall we go down to the pond? She asked. Death had been dreading that. Before long, Death decided that he had his limits. Forgive me, he said. I must really get away from this damp. Are you cold? Duck asked. Shall I warm you up a little? Nobody had ever offered to do that for Death. Duck woke first, very early in the morning. I'm not dead, she thought to herself. She poked Death in the ribs. I'm not dead, she quacked, utterly delighted. I'm pleased for you, Death said, stretching. And if I had died? Then I wouldn't have been able to sleep in, Death yawned. That wasn't a very nice thing to say, thought Duck. For a while, she refused to speak, but soon she was chattering again. Some ducks say you become an angel and sit on a cloud, looking over the earth. Quite possibly. Death rose to his feet. You have the wings already. Some ducks say that deep in the earth, there's a place where you'll be roasted if you haven't been good. You ducks come up with some amazing stories, but who knows? So you don't know either, Duck snapped. Death just looked at her. What shall we do today? Death asked. Well, let's not go back to the pond. Let's do something really exciting. Death was relieved. Shall we climb a tree? He teased. They could see the pond far below. There it lay, so still, and so lonely. That's what it will be like when I'm dead, Duck thought. The pond alone, without me. Death could sometimes read minds. When you're dead, the pond will be gone too, at least for you. Are you sure? Duck was astonished. As sure can be, Death said. Well, that's a comfort. I won't have to mourn over it when you're dead. Death finished the sentence. He wasn't coy about the subject. Well, let's climb down, Duck pleaded after a bit. You can start having strange thoughts in trees. Summer was ending, and they went less and less often to the pond. They sat together in the grass, sang little. When a cool wind ruffled her feathers, Duck felt its chill for the first time. I'm cold, she said one evening. Will you warm me a little? Snowflakes drifted down. Something had happened. Death looked at the duck. She stopped breathing. She lay quite still. Death stroked a few rumpled feathers back into place. Then he carried her to the great river. He laid her gently on the water and nudged her along her way. For a long time he watched her. When she was lost to sight, he was almost a little moved. But that's life, thought Death. The end. Death is an interesting, witty character. He is personified in this story as a walking, talking skeleton. The author had spent some time considering how death would be portrayed visually in this book, and ultimately decided to use the skeleton image. Tulips are known as spring's herald because they are one of the first flowers to bloom in the spring. Because of this, the tulip is known as a symbol of rebirth, renewal, and growth. The tulip isn't seen again after the beginning of the story, but makes its reappearance when death places it on Duck's lifeless body at the end of the story. The tulip is given as a salute, sending off Duck, showing her rebirth and renewal as she floats down the river. Often, a single flower, as opposed to a bouquet, is associated with a personal message. Before death is shown in the story, Duck makes 4 appearances on the cover of the book and on the 3 pages before the title page, which actually begins her story. Duck appears to be an unbothered duck until she meets death, and then she becomes more alarmed. The depth of emotions is unraveled during the conversations between Death and Duck, and the expressions are shown in the body and faces of the characters, and then Duck realizes the significance of their meeting. Thank you so much for joining me again on the Virtual Children's Library. My name is Brittany Gemelita, and if you have time, please share what you thought about the story in the comments below.